My name is Daniel Walker. Most days, I wear a paramedic uniform. Today, I was kneeling beside a car talking to a woman named Sarah. She was shaken by a minor accident, but thankfully unhurt. I kept my voice calm, professional, even though a deep weariness settled in my bones. I placed a comforting hand on Sarah's shoulder, a gesture I'd made 1,000 times. But this time, a faint golden light shimmered subtly under my skin. Her raw panic, her fear, flowed into me like a current. My expression tightened slightly as I absorbed her distress, feeling the familiar drain of energy. Later, back in my small, tidy apartment, I slumped into my favorite armchair. Exhaustion clung to me like a heavy cloak. I pulled out my focus stone, a smooth, dark gray river stone. I rolled it in my palm, feeling its faint warmth, using it to slowly decompress from the day's emotional weight. The television murmured in the background, a local news report playing. The anchor spoke of a strange increase in public arguments across the city. Unprovoked aggression was becoming common, they said. I watched, a knot forming in my stomach, recognizing a pattern I knew too well. Suddenly, a sharp, invisible wave of negative emotion washed over me from outside. It was a surge of anger, frustration, and fear, hitting me like a physical blow. I winced, a sharp pain blooming behind my eyes. I pressed my fingers to my temples, trying to push back the overwhelming sensation. Now, off-duty, I walked through a busy city square. The air felt thick with tension, almost suffocating. In the background, I could hear raised voices. People were arguing over small things. A bumped shoulder, a missed bus. It was unsettling, like the city itself was on edge. Ahead, a road rage incident was escalating quickly. 2 drivers, a man in a blue shirt and another in a gray jacket, were out of their cars. They were shouting, their faces red with fury. The man in the blue shirt raised his fists, ready to fight. The raw aggression was palpable. Without thinking, I walked calmly between them. I didn't say a word, knowing words wouldn't help here. Instead, I extended my hand slightly, palms open. A warm, golden energy flowed from the 2 angry men into me, their rage draining away. The 2 drivers blinked, their anger suddenly gone. They looked confused, then deeply embarrassed by their outburst. They mumbled apologies to each other, shaking their heads. I quietly walked away, feeling a strange surge of power, a mix of their diffused emotions and my own relief. A few days later, I sat at a cafe with Dr. Evelyn Reed, an old acquaintance. She looked at me with her sharp, intelligent green eyes. "You look tired, Daniel," she observed, her voice concerned. "Have you been feeling the city's strange mood lately?" I just mumbled, "Work has been a lot lately, Evelyn." My job as a paramedic was always stressful, but she knew my real burden. Her intelligent green eyes, behind thin-framed glasses, looked at me with a knowing, analytical gaze. She often seemed to understand more than I said. Suddenly, a much stronger pulse of anger radiated through the cafe. It was a raw, burning feeling, not mine. I gripped the table edge, my knuckles turning white, and my coffee cup rattled loudly on its saucer. Evelyn's head snapped up, her eyes immediately on my reaction. She saw my struggle. "I have to go," I said quickly, standing up from the table. The anger was a beacon, pulling me towards its source. I instinctively knew the direction, a specific industrial district on the city's edge. I began walking purposefully, my pace quickening with every step. I had to find out what was happening. The pulse of anger led me to an abandoned warehouse. Its windows were broken, and its metal siding was rusted. Inside, the air was cold and still. On a large brick wall, I discovered a strange, complex graffiti art.
It was a sprawling mural of interlocking geometric shapes and unfamiliar symbols. "Fascinating, isn't it?" a voice from the shadows said. I spun around, startled. Dr. Evelyn Reed stepped out, holding a small scientific device. It was clicking erratically, its tiny lights blinking. She looked at me, a hint of surprise in her eyes, but mostly professional curiosity.
I tracked the psychic radiation to this spot, Evelyn explained, gesturing towards the graffiti. Her voice was calm and scientific. I theorize this graffiti is a kind of emotional amplifier, drawing in strong feelings and then broadcasting them. Her words made sense of the overwhelming emotions I had been feeling. We looked at each other, a moment of shared understanding passing between us. We were both there for the same reason, to understand this strange phenomenon. Although our methods were completely different, our goals aligned. She used science, I used my empathic senses. A cautious alliance formed in that silent space. As if sensing our presence, the graffiti began to glow. A sickly purple light pulsed slowly along its lines, like a dark heartbeat. Then it emitted a powerful wave of pure rage, far stronger than anything before. The air vibrated with the raw, uncontrolled emotion. It was overwhelming. Instinctively, I stepped in front of Evelyn, bracing myself for the impact. I had to protect her. I absorbed the full force of the emotional blast. My entire body lit up with a brilliant, warm, golden aura, pushing back the purple energy. It was a powerful surge, almost too much to bear. The energy was too much to contain, a furious storm within me. The golden light flickered violently, then died out completely. My legs gave out, and I collapsed to the cold ground, unconscious. Evelyn rushed to my side, her face filled with concern. She looked from me to the now dimmed graffiti, her expression a mix of worry and scientific intrigue. Es momento de la trivia. Te haré dos preguntas sobre la historia que acabas de escuchar. Piensa bien las respuestas y déjalas en los comentarios. Pregunta número 1. ¿Qué objeto utiliza Daniel para desahogarse del peso emocional de su día? Tómate tu tiempo para pensar. Pregunta número 2. ¿Qué le sucedió a Daniel después de absorber la poderosa ola de rabia del graffiti? Esas son las dos preguntas de nuestra trivia. No olvides dejar tus respuestas en los comentarios. Me encanta leer lo que piensan sobre las historias.
Si te gustó el video, pon me gusta, suscríbete y activa la campanita para no perderte la próxima parte.